戦闘開始。
How's it going, everybody? PigBay here, PB for short, and welcome to Tech Tree Thursday. Today's video is going to be on the Albemarle. Now, my European brethren are going to say that I butchered that, and yeah, I did, absolutely. I'm a dirty American, and what can I say? I'm sorry. But I'm going to call it the Albie. She is not a bad boat. Now, the line gets a bad stigma, granted. It's warranted because of the Drake and the Goliath, and you know, the Albie is just not that bad. For ship skills, you're sitting at DFA 2, 3 charges of that if you're using the commander, of course, and then 2 smokes. Now the difference between this and the light cruiser line is that this line has access to HE, and the HE actually does a pretty decent job at starting fires. For her main armament, she comes equipped with 203mm cannons, 9 of them to be precise, and the HE damage is sitting at about 753. You know, that's before reduction, so take that with what you will. The AP is sitting at 800, again, also before reductions, and the fire chance is sitting about 9%. Now the Albie has about an 11-second reload, which is a little long, especially for the tier, but it only gets worse after this. So Drake and Goliath has like a 14-second reload, which is insane. Now on screen is currently what I'm running: dispersion, propulsion, and concealment. I've been toying with the idea of taking reload, even though reload really doesn't help as much. You know, maybe just getting that extra shot to try to get a little more fires. I don't know. I might try it. We'll see. Now that the action's actually started here, we're just going to get into the match. So here we are, a Friar's Lantern. I headed to my respective cap here, try to capture this. Again, there's no DDs, so really the cruiser's got to pick up the legwork there. So here I am, getting my cap, and there's my Takao, getting torped by the Mugami because he wanted to get his own torped off. Unfortunately, his didn't hit, and he got nailed. So down 1 ship already. Not a good start, but we're going to try to slow down this flank. There's 4 ships over here. Try to set some fires. See how that goes. Now it's just me and this Nagato, and our carrier's kind of heading into the cap too. So we'll see how that ends up. But this Nagato is definitely supporting me. I'm trying to support him as best as I can. And here's actually in game when I realize what Graf Zeppelin is actually doing, and the terror enters my mind. I'm like, oh, good. Here he is. Good. So he's pushing up. Maybe to get his main batteries into play, but we'll see how that goes.
I appreciate it.
Now again, at range, I'm still using this HE just because the AP probably won't pen from this distance. I would switch the AP once things get a little closer. But from range, I'm using that HE. Now I go ahead and swap to the AP, thinking that was going to do the job. It did not, but I already committed to switching targets to this Mogami. As if you notice, I fire these torpedoes without a white line, a little torpedo indicator, just because I'm just betting on him coming into range and closing the distance. So I kind of predict where he's going to be. Now, unfortunately, my prediction, it was good, but yeah, I only hit 1. I'm thinking, you know, because he got slowed up being stuck on the island, that kind of did it there. But still, hit 1 when, you know, the game said I wasn't going to hit any. So that just goes to show you, sometimes, you know, send them out. You never know. They might turn in, and you might actually nail them pretty hard. So even if the game says don't do it, just throw it out. What's the worst that could happen? You don't want to save these things like they're candy. Now currently I'm firing AP at this North Carolina, but I'm aiming at the weak spots. I want to hit the nose or the stern. So right now I'm aiming for the stern, kind of in the middle of the ship. Just with his direction and speed, I end up hitting the back and getting full pens out of that. So definitely with the AP, you want to aim at these weak spots on these battleships from, you know, a good distance. Like, don't try to do max range AP because that's just gonna bounce. So HE at long ranges, AP when things get close.
Target hit.
Also, part of this right here is luck that the North Carolina didn't focus me and started aiming at the Nagato. So trying to get as much damage on this guy and save a little bit of the Nagato's HP because, you know, we're down to 3 ships now at this point of the game. So things are looking a little bleak.
We hit the enemy.
So now I'm going to trust that my Nagato has that. You know, sometimes that could be a double-edged sword and, you know, your battleship can end up dying to them and now my flank's all open. But I'm trusting him because, you know, he's been with me this whole time and he's been doing a damn good job too. So go ahead and fire torps because this guy might turn in. Not quite sure, but I'm going to go ahead and put this island between us and try to engage this King George. As you can see, his guns aren't pointing at me, so I'm going to go ahead and get that AP to the nose. And again, I'm sitting here at half health, and I'm fortunate that this guy is not shooting me. So, you know, things work out. When people just ignore you, good things can happen. Now I'm trusting again that the team can finish that very low health King George, and I'm going to go ahead and get torps onto this Miyoko. I'm thinking, hey, he's probably torping me, that's why he's popping out. So I'm going to torp him, kill him. That way if I go down, at least it's an even trade. And the more astute of you may notice that the enemy carrier is not sending out any planes, so he's probably AFK right now. Which, you know, a lot of this game can be luck sometimes, but hey, I'll take it at this point. And then the chappie comes out. If this dude kills me, he wins the game. Launches torps, but hits the island. And that's all she wrote. That is game. There is nothing he can do. And there is a great comeback victory if I ever saw one. You know, 3-6, and we come on top. Granted, you know, carry was AFK, but hey, they still outnumbered us. And me and that Nagato did work. Now I ran this on my main account, so obviously I'm using everything that I would normally use because I'm still grinding this boat. So I'm using historical camo. It's only a 6-point commander that I used, so not much in the way of help from that. But yes, Nagato, you get a compliment because you're just awesome, dude. You're an awesome dude, and I thank you for being my teammate. Now currently these are my stats with this boat. Not the best, but not the worst. I mean, like I said, it's definitely not a bad boat whatsoever. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this Tech Tree Thursday. Go ahead and vote in the comments what the next ship is going to be for next Thursday. But until then, see you next time.